Through the force of great passion and knowledge, Freddie Roach has become one of boxing's top trainers.
The year was 2007. I was a producer at HBO Sports, and this was the first time I got to interview the legendary Freddie Roach. At this point, Freddie had already been training Manny for about 6 years. Manny was the 130-pound champion. He had already fought Marquez, Barrera, and Morales. He still hadn't had those mega fights with De La Hoya and Hatton and Mayweather. I was just a boxing fan living his dream. I'm sitting in a house in Brentwood interviewing Freddie Roach. Manny Pacquiao's in the back waiting for his chance to get on screen with Freddie. Let's go back to 2007, HBO Sports, the first Freddie Roach feature I ever did.
Through the force of great passion and knowledge, Freddie Roach has become one of boxing's top trainers.
After combinations, you can't stand in front of this guy.
As he works the mitts with slugging superstar Manny Pacquiao, you wouldn't suspect Freddie Roach suffers from a debilitating disease.
Right here.
Freddie's lifelong link to boxing was predestined. His father, Paul, made boxing a family affair, and Freddie's path was established.
My dad lived through us. He was a fighter. He wanted us to be fighters. It was part of life in the Roach household. My first fight was when I was 6 years old, my first tournament when I was 8 years old. I love my dad, and he died a few years ago, but he was a very physical person, and he had a mean side to him. If you didn't choose to be a fighter, you caught more beatings than the guys that chose fighting did. He used to tell me that he'd knock me out if we ever fought each other. I believed him, and I was scared of him.
As a junior featherweight in the 1980s, Freddie channeled that fear, styling himself a crowd-pleasing free swinger with a zest for combat.
I was aggressive. My style as a fighter was take one and give two. You know, I was a white kid who fought hard, bled sometimes, and people like that. And I was number 8 in the world, and I thought I was going to be world champion.
Trained by the legendary Eddie Futch, Roach battled Bobby Chacon, Hector Camacho, and Greg Haugen, but never won a title. A broken hand and a series of losses derailed Roach's career, and suddenly, at age 26, Freddie was finished as a fighter.
When I retired, I was broke. I kind of was a little bit bitter because I put my whole life into something and I didn't quite reach my goal, which was to be world champion. I got a job as a telemarketer, selling pens and key tags over the phone, and my phone name was Joe Davis.
Then Eddie Futch reached out to his former pupil to help train his legion of fighters. Within a year, Roach had his own champion in Virgil Hill.
I became Eddie's assistant. But I wanted nothing to do with it, but then I just found something that I actually did better than fight, and that's training fighters.
Since then, Roach has trained some of the biggest names in boxing, including Marlon Starling, Virgil Hill, Mike Tyson, Johnny Tapia, James Toney, and Manny Pacquiao. Roach credits his success to lessons learned from Futch, the gentle father figure who taught him to love boxing again.
I have worked with 17 world champions in all so far. I think Mr. Futch has like 23, 24, and I'm chasing him.
Freddie's latest charge, Manny Pacquiao, is a fighter with whom he shares a playful bond.
He's looking for my my future, you know, good future, not bad.
This kid is so fun to work with. Everything he does is 100%, and that's the way fighters are supposed to be.
I trust him, and he's like my father.
He's like my kid to me. He's like my son. I mean, I love this kid.
The ring wars ended nearly 2 decades ago for Freddie Roach, but there is a lonely battle he fights every day of his life.
In 1990, I was diagnosed with having Parkinson's. One of my neurologists says it's trauma-related from boxing. But, you know, they can't really prove that, but they can assume it. I'll shake sometimes. It's more embarrassing than anything. You know, I can't walk too well, but I can box in the gym 40 rounds if I want to. You know, no problem. I don't talk to my fighters about my disease, and I don't think Manny even knows that I have Parkinson's, to be honest with you. It doesn't get in the way of my life and my training at all. Parkinson's is part of my life, but let's keep it at that. You know?
We don't have a problem about that.
My doctors tell me, you know, someday it could affect me where I can't function as well as I do. And I said, well, until that day happens, I'm going to work my ass off. I'm not going to lie down and die. I'm a fighter, and I'll be a fighter till the end. I don't want anyone to feel sad for me because I'm very happy.